What is up, guys? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, from TikTok, Facebook, social medias all around. Today we are going to get into why do we keep attracting the same types of people? Why do we attract the same types of relationships into our lives? Why do we attract the same type of friendships into our lives where we are giving and we're not receiving that same energy back? So we're going to dive into how we can stop this pattern so that we can get people in our lives that make the most sense to us, that fill us with joy, that give us back the unconditional love that we so freely give. So if you are sick of dead-end friendships, dead-end relationships, dead-end anything, then we're going to talk about it in this video. So please give this a quick like, a comment, thumbs up, any of the above, subscribe, notifications, all of that. And as always, let's get into it. So unfortunately, the brutal reality of why we keep attracting these people to begin with that don't actually fill our heart is because it's trying to show us what we are missing within ourselves. So for example, say that you're someone who often attracts someone who's emotionally avoidant, right? They only give you a little and you like give to try and make it work, right? You're like, I love them. I could see the potential, but they're not giving me their all. And so like, maybe I can love them back to life and stuff like that. But in reality, what we're missing is two people that are unhealed coming together to reflect what is really going on within each other, within ourselves. And the moment that we can realize that all these triggers are lessons to come home to our true selves, our true nature, that's when we can stop and interrupt this karmic cycle that we have been facing. When we realize that we too are the problem, that it takes two to tango, that even if the partner that you're thinking of was toxic AF, you also have to admit you stuck around. I know that's hard. We're not victim blaming here. We're being honest. We're reflecting. You stuck around. You had that intuition, that nudge that said don't do it, but then you wanted to save them. So again, you tried to heal them back to life. And we can go on to what all those issues are. But what it really does tell you deep down is that you don't feel like you're enough. Or you had people in your past that taught you not to need so much or not to love so hard, and so you overdo it because that's all you know to do. You had people that were shut down, and so you learned to fight for love, and that became your limiting belief that you need to fight for love in order for love to come to you, when in reality that's not how love works and that's not how friendship works. In reality, you should be complete within yourself so that somebody can add to your life. And someone is not going to add to your life if you don't add to your life on your own. So how do we stop attracting these? I know I keep saying that, but how do we really stop? The answer, the hard part, the biggest part, is to go within and figure out why this keeps happening. Look to your childhood. Look to relationships you've dealt with in the past. Think about the moments that really shook you up to make you this person that doesn't understand what healthy love, friendship, family, all the above looks like, right? We have to dive into ourselves in order to clear it out so that we can be honest with ourselves. I'm being drawn to mention my an old relationship that I had that wasn't even a relationship, and they were emotionally avoidant and I was anxious attachment, which again, two people that should not be together, period, because they should be focused on themselves and healing. However, we tend to lean on others instead of leaning on ourselves. And that's something that we need to learn with time because society hasn't taught us how to lean on ourselves. They've just taught us to be robotic and not have feelings at all. So don't beat yourself up if you have a common theme of attracting people that don't respect you. I want you to see the bigger picture here. So while I was pursuing this emotionally avoidant person that was breaking my heart, I also had to admit that I was breaking my own heart because I knew deep down. And I want you to think about a lot of the really painful relationships that you managed to get out of. For some reason, I feel the need to talk more about relationships, so maybe you guys struggle more so in relationships that are love-based, but it's all around. But I want you to think about the stuff you've settled for. I want you to think about the actions that you've portrayed in this as well. So for instance, the person that I was just talking about, emotionally avoidant. I knew very early on that this was going to take work, which, by the way, you can't fix anybody. They have to fix themselves. So again, already the red flag in the beginning. We usually don't listen to our intuition. We try to overdo it and go to our logic because we want love, right? But if we don't know how to love ourselves, then we are going to consistently bring in people that mirror what we don't love about ourselves while inspiring us with the things that we wish we were. So this emotionally avoidant partner that I had, and on again, whatever the hell, he showed to me that, it's possible to be a voice for other people. It's possible to have a good heart and to still fight. So I saw in him things that I loved about myself, that I knew I had within me, but I also saw things that I hated in myself that were being reflected back to me. Like, it wasn't a healthy dynamic in the fact that I was not comfortable if I didn't hear from them for a few hours, because in my body, that's like danger. What's going on? That doesn't necessarily mean cheating. That doesn't mean anything. It means I had a core wound that I needed to work on, but I didn't do that. Instead, because I love, because I am love, I went after it anyway. And that's kind of where we go wrong. We go wrong because we go into relationships with this ideation, I might be saying that wrong. We have this idea that they're going to fix us, or they're going to complete us, or solve the complexity of us. Like somehow bringing someone else into our equation that we haven't figured out is going to make things better. And in reality, that is not how it works. You have to be an energetic alignment to what it is that you're looking for in all sorts of relationships. I'm being really drawn to relationships, so I think I got a lot of people that's going to watch this video that are in relationships they probably have been making excuses for. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a nod from spirit as I'm saying that. But it's more so remembering that every single person that enters your life is an opportunity for you to understand yourself even better, even if it hurts. So when you look back at the relationships and the friendships that really, really hurt you, I want you to think about, go above yourself and say, how was I also the problem? Don't make it about that person, because you're never going to learn if you only make it about them. Because you can go into that state where you're like, I've had enough. I'm not going to deal with this crap anymore. I absolutely refuse. And listen, the universe will hear you, and they won't keep bringing you that version, but they'll give you a lesser version, because have you learned your own lesson? Because when you have decided enough is enough because you've been treated like crap for so long, but yet you haven't done the inner work to stop attracting people that are going to treat you like crap, then you're kind of, it's like two magnets that are just not going to connect, because it starts with you. Everything is energy based. If you don't fully love yourself, then you're going to get someone who's not capable of fully opening up to love. If you are someone who is guarded, then you are going to attract people that are also guarded. Do you see what I'm saying? I want you to look back onto the history of the people that you've dated, the friends that you've had. I'm being drawn to a friend that I had that was so toxic at the end, but she wasn't toxic in the beginning. And, God forbid she sees this video. I wish her the best in her life, but I got to talk about it because that's part of what I do for a living. But we were really great friends when I was in a bad place. We had a weird trauma bond. There's the only way to explain it, but we did. We had a trauma bond. And when I decided that I didn't want to be a victim of my own life anymore, that I didn't want to feel sorry for myself anymore, that I knew that being uncomfortable, being stuck was worse than being uncomfortable starting something new, that is when I started to trigger everyone around me. That friend that I thought was such a solid friend that felt like a sister to me, the moment that I started to become myself, it made her see that reflection of where she could have embraced upping up her life, leveling up her life. And she wasn't ready to do that. And so because of that, our friendship couldn't continue. It became really toxic, because then there was this jealousy and there was this animosity because I was changing. So now I'm the weird one. And you just have to understand that all relationships really, they dial back down to a reflection of yourself. And the moment that you can begin to really see that and really embrace that, then you can understand why everything happens and how to make it stop when you don't want to keep attracting those types of people. I no longer attract trauma bonds because when I'm going through something that's traumatic, I turn everything off and I go to me. I go within. I ask myself, what do I need? And if that's self-care, I follow it. If that's getting out of my own way, then I follow it. If it's tough love, then I follow it. But if we're running to other people, then we don't know ourselves at all. And if we don't know ourselves, how do we expect to attract healthy, loving people into our lives? It all starts and ends with us. It's so simple that we make it complex. And on top of that, you have TV, social media, where they push agendas of things that are not realistic. Like the term, you complete me, is so incredibly toxic. I love rom-coms to death, but if that is how you view love, we already got a problem. Because no one is meant to complete you but you. You're supposed to show up for yourself. And if you want those solid friendships, those solid relationships, those people that are going to be by your side, 2:22 on the clock as I'm saying that, be by your side through it all, then you've got to stop settling for friends and relationships that you do not deserve. And you have to start looking at, what am I doing wrong, and being honest with yourself. I didn't realize at first that I was doing all these trauma bonds. We're human. We don't have to beat ourselves up over it, but we have to acknowledge what's happening. And if you're starting to grow and you're losing people, and people you thought were always going to love you are starting to get weird, what you're probably experiencing is the fact that you're growing and they don't want to. And that is what's happening globally right now, because we've been through all of this lockdowns and figuring out who we are and cluttering out everything that no longer serves us. So going within and being honest with ourselves is how we stop this. Who do you want to be? Don't ever run away from that. Chase that, and whoever is meant to be in your path will respect, accept, and love you no matter what. They will always be there for you. There are people that I thought would have dropped out of my life by now, but they are still cheering me on. Those are the people that you need to worry about. Stop overextending your energy because you come from a place of trauma. And I get it, I've been there. But when you are filling those voids with people so that you can get rid of that noise in your head, then you're doing a disservice to yourself, because then you're just going to attract more chaos. Chaos and misery, they love company. Do you want to have more misery and more chaos? Or do you want to feel finally secure within yourself, finally at peace within yourself, finally embracing and loving yourself? Listen, people are going to talk shit. They're going to talk, they're going to run their mouths regardless of who you are. People talked crap about me when I was heavy into my alcoholism, going through it mentally, depressed as hell. And people talk crap about me now that I have defied the odds. There will always be people that have something to say. So let's not worry about other people. Let's worry about us. What do we need? What will we no longer tolerate? What do we demand out of healthy, loving relationships of all kinds? Platonic, love, family. And do not stray from what you expect out of those people, because those people exist. You raise your vibration, you raise who you are, you are going to meet people who are also doing that same work. They are going to be drawn to you like a magnet, just like as you were growing, the people you thought would always be around suddenly being repelled from you. It's all energetic. They don't align. You're leveling up. They don't want to. It's triggering them. It's no longer healthy. It's time to close the chapter. Then you can find the people that make sense for you. But in order to do that, you have to be relentlessly honest with yourself. What have I accepted? What do I believe needs to go? If this was my best friend, would I tell them to tolerate this shit? Probably not, right? Probably not. So why am I letting myself settle for things that I wouldn't let someone I care about settle for? When you learn to be your own best friend, your own lover, your own parent, your own advocate, your own cheerleader, when you learn to be that for yourself, when you learn to be alone and not lonely, that's when you're going to get people that resonate with you at a core level. That's when you're going to get the people that make the most sense to you, that don't judge you, that love you unconditionally. You know why? Because you've learned to unconditionally love yourself. You've learned to show up for yourself. And when you can mirror that, if that's the mirror that you are, someone who is sound mind, body, and spirit, then that is who you're going to attract. So keep doing the work so that you can keep getting the people that you want in your life, that are going to help you build the life that you dream of. But it all starts with you and being brutally honest with yourself without judgment, but just with honesty, just blatant honesty. What have I settled for? What did I allow that I shouldn't have allowed? And how am I going to make a concrete effort to never let that happen again while I work on healing myself so that I am an energetic match to people that resonate with the version of me that I want to be the most? And if you can do that, you will find the people that mesh with you the most. You will find your soul family, soul tribe, whatever you want to call it, just people that vibe with you the way you want to vibe. When you want to be on the top of your game and you want people that are going to support you and cheer you on instead of talking behind the scenes, that's how you get it. Loving yourself first. Do the work, and the universe will show you that you did it by reflecting it in the people that are now drawn to you. So I hope that was helpful. If you need a part 2, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you reach the end of this video, leave me a little star emoji so I see that you are ready to choose yourself over everybody else. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good afternoon, evening, morning for people that are awake during that time. And I will catch you guys in a later video. Have a great day. I love you all so much.